Hey everyone, this is Vilas here again from Selenium Express. So if you're following me along, this must be your second tutorial of the series. So in this tutorial, we're going to cover another way to create an object in Java, and this will be our way number 2. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to create an object using a method called newInstance. And this method newInstance belongs to a class called class. So actually there is a class called class inside the java.Lang package, and inside the class there is a method called newInstance which help us to create an object in Java. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do in this tutorial is I'm going to load my class over here. So as you know that there are two different ways to load a class in Java, and I'm going to tell you about that in a bit. The second thing that I'm going to do over here is once my class get loaded up, I'm going to call the newInstance method which will help me to create an object. So without wasting any time, let's dive into Eclipse and let's check out that how to create an object in Java by using the newInstance method of class. Alright, so let's get started.
So let's check out how to use the newInstance method which exists inside the class called class. Alright, so let's go for it. Okay, so now as you can see, right now we are in our basic application that we have developed in few minutes back. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I am going to have a sysout over here, and I'm going to put some stars over here just to separate my core. Okay, so here we go. Everything looking pretty good. Okay, let's have some white space here and let's start coding. Okay, so now let me quickly write some comment over here. So I'll write creating object using new instance method of class. Okay, and then I'm gonna print the object reference to the console, and then calling the student class property. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now let me create an object by using the newInstance method. Okay, so how to do that? Okay, so to create an object using newInstance method, the first thing you need to do is to load your class. Okay, and there are two ways in Java using what you can load your class. Okay, so we're gonna see it one after another. So the first way to load a class in Java by using the class.forname. So inside the class there is a method called forname, and the forname method is used to load a class in Java. Okay, so let's load a class. Okay, so now if you see closely, the class that we want to load is student class, and it exists inside the test package. Okay, so let's load this class. So to load it, first I need to write the fully qualified path of it. So it's present inside the test package, and my class name is student. Alright, and I'll just give a semicolon over here, and now I'm getting an exception. Okay, so if I mouse over my cursor over here, I can see it's just throwing some exception which is class not found, and I want to click the first option over here, add throws to the declaration. So we can check this out over here. It's just throwing the things in my main method. Okay, so now my class is successfully loaded. Okay, so now as I said, there is a newInstance method which is present inside the class. So let's use that newInstance method to create our object. Now my class is loaded and I'm using the newInstance method. Now again it's giving me an exception, right? So what's the error says? Again it's throwing some exception, illegal access exception, and I want to again throw this to the declaration. Okay, so let me click on the first option over here. Okay, so there you go. So the exception that is throwing is instantiation exception and illegal access exception. Okay, so now let me break it into another line so that we can read it clearly, and let me maximize it. Okay, now there we go. Now it looks better. Let me put another enter over here, and let me make it a same line. Now this looks good. Okay, so everything is set, our error is gone. Now once we use the new instance method, our object is created. So how can we get a hold of it? So we just need to store it with our desired class reference. Okay, so I want to store it with my student class, so I'll write student and I'll give it a reference, let's say s2. And now you can see over here is again giving me an error over here, because this is just returning an object and I'm storing it within a student object, so that I want to typecast it to my student class. Alright, now the error is gone and I got the object with my s2 reference. Okay, now let's print it out to the console. So I'll write sysout over here and I'll write it, and I'll write h2 inside it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to call the property of student class, which is college ID, and I want to set it to some value, let's say 202. All right, and let's print it to the console. So I'll write sysout and I'll write h2 dot college ID. All right, so there we go, we're all set. And now let's run our application. Okay, so here we get the first thing is our student class constructor. That means the new instance method is actually creating the object by using the default constructor of student class. So that's why the student class constructor, I'm getting it over here, and this is my object reference, the address where my object is created. And the next thing is my student college ID, which is 202 that I set it over here. Okay, so this is how we create an object in Java by using new instance method of class. Well, before I wrap up this, I told you, right, there are two ways to load a class in Java. The first way is this, by using the class.forname. So there is actually another way to load the class in Java. Let me quickly cover that as well. So let me comment this thing and let me write. I can also directly load the class like this, student.class, and I'll call the new instance method over here, and there you go. And the next thing I want to do is I need to store it with a student reference. So I'll write student and s2 over here. And now this will work exactly in the same way that we have just seen a couple of minutes before. Okay, so if I save it and if I run it, we'll get the same output over here as well.